Hey everybody, this is Nina with Walla Stamping. Thank you so much for joining me today for this tutorial, and this is the project that I would like to show you. Now, the way that this came about is the other day I was at the grocery store picking up food and I picked up a box with these crackers in it. And for some strange reason, when I got home, the thought hit me, you should create a box to put those crackers in, because it reminded me of way back when my kids were in elementary school. If they had a Christmas party or Halloween or Valentine's party, without fail, I always made some kind of special little treat for them to take and share with their friends and classmates. Cool. So let's move these aside and we will get started. Alright, so let's bring in the supplies you're going to need. This is a piece of our basic black and it is cut to 6.5 by 6 inches. We need 3 pieces of our This Christmas Specialty Designer Series paper, and each of these 3 are cut at 3 3/4 by 1.5 wide. And basically that is all the paper that you need to create this project, except for, don't let me tell you a fib, isn't this pretty? I love it. Now on this one, I did it opposite, where the basic black was on top and the glimmer paper was below, but I changed it up. So let me show you what I used to create these. It's our Mary Tags framelit dies, and these are the ones that I have used to cut out. Oops, let me get these apart here. I used this one to cut out this piece. And of course, I used this one to cut out this piece. Now, let me bring this in. This one, I used a different die. I used this one right here. And then I used this smaller one to cut that circle out in the middle. So, these are very useful. And as you can tell, there's a lot of different varieties of ways to cut your ornaments out and use them. So let's set these aside for now. And then also to stamp the to and from on here, I used the Merriest Wishes stamp set. Aren't those nice? I love them. This stamp I have not used yet, but in our catalog they have some great ideas of things to do with that. Now, speaking of the catalog, let me bring this in. This is our holiday catalog, and the stamp set and the Mary Tags framelit dies are on page 21. And if you're interested in these, if you purchase them both together in a bundle and you use the bundle ordering number, you will save 10% on these. If you would like me to mail a catalog out to you, leave a comment below and let me know that you want a catalog. And you can also email me at wallastamping@gmail.com and request a catalog. That would probably be the best method to get in touch with me for now. Then these papers, the This Christmas Specialty DSP is in our regular catalog, and you would find it on page 172, and this is the one that I'm using today. Now also with this, there is the This Christmas cardstock pack that matches, and those colors are Cherry Cobbler, Garden Green, and Very Vanilla. Right, so let's take our basic black cardstock that was cut 6 to 6.5, bring in our cutting and scoring tool. Now I'm going to place my paper in here where the 6-inch side is toward the top. The first score line we're going to make is at 1/2 inch, and it's much easier to score a small portion like this lining it up on the right side so you can hang on to your paper on the left. So we're going to score that 1/2 inch. I've got my cutting blade out of the way. That's my scoring tool. Now we need to turn the paper around so that score line is to the left, and we're going to line this up at 1 1/2 inches here. Score. Then at 3 1/4 inch. Then at 4 1/4 inch. Then we're going to turn our paper a 1/2 turn to the right so that that 1/2 inch score line is facing the top of your scoreboard. We're going to line it up on the 1 inch mark on the right, score it, and then slide it over to the 1.5 inch mark on the left. Now let me show you something here. Do you see this? Let me see if I can get, okay, there's my last score line. This portion is going to be the back of the box. We do not want a score line on that because it's going to stay straight. It's not going to fold over. See what I mean here? This part stays straight. So I want to stop scoring when I get down to the score line that shows me where the back is. Hope that makes sense. So let's line it up again, 1 1/2 inch. There is a ruler on my plastic protector here, and I know you can't see it because this is black paper and the ruler is marked in gray, but I'm going to come down and stop at the 4 1/4 inch. And if you see there's a little pointer right there, that's how I know where to stop. So bring that down to 4 1/4. Alright, so see what I did there? Okay, there's where I came down and stopped even right there with that line. Alright, let's move this out of the way. Bring in my scissors. There's a couple of pieces that you do not need, and they're right here and right here. Two small rectangles that we do not need at all, so we're going to just cut those off. I'm going to get my small scissors. Those are a little bit big. Then do the same thing on this side. I'm cutting straight up that score line, and then I'm cutting at an angle on this side. Next thing we're going to do is, this is the top of the box, the part that we scored that's 1 1/2 inches. Let's cut up each of those score lines. Now I'm going to cut just a little wedge out of each of these. You could cut these off. You don't necessarily need them, but I'm leaving them intact, and I'm just going to fold them to the inside of the box. And my purpose for doing that is I feel like it gives the box a little more structure and helps it stay sturdier. And let's say that you did make a project similar to this, maybe with different paper, and send it with your child to school to share with their friends. You want it to be as sturdy as possible in case they want to keep using it once they've eaten their treat that's inside. Now I did the same thing on this side. I just cut straight up each of those score lines, and I stopped at the first horizontal. Now this flap and this flap that are the little 1 inch ones, those are the side of the box, and just like we did there, we're going to cut a wedge out of each of these. This makes it easier when you're gluing your box together. You don't have so much paper in your way, and it makes it easier to glue together. So let's get that done. Alright, now let's go ahead and fold our paper over and burnish it with our bone folder. Now I'm going to do the top first so that I don't forget what I'm doing, because I have accidentally folded my back over before and not meant to. So let's fold each of these 3 pieces down. This is the bottom, fold and burnish, and then do each of the score lines that will form the shape of the box. There's that little piece right there. Okay, now let's go ahead and glue these down. And I'm using some Tombow glue today. You could use some Fast Fuse, and if I had some, that's probably what I would be using, because it does make quicker work of this. But I've placed an order because I ran out of my Fast Fuse, and UPS is not going to bring it to me until Monday, so for now we're just going to use Tombow. So now this is the inside of the box. Now I need to bring my cutting tool back in, because one of these pieces that is 1 1/2 inch wide needs to be cut into 2 pieces that are 3/4 of an inch wide. So I'm just going to line this up on the 3/4 inch line here and here. Hold it down with my fingers and just slice that right in half. See, that's not hard at all, is it? So let's go ahead and lay these out where they're going to be. And then again, I'm just going to use my Tombow glue. Now you could use snail on this part if you wanted to, because it would be fine for holding these in place. Just center that up between those score lines there. Then when you're putting the other 2 pieces in, get them as straight as possible and even along the top and the bottom with the previous piece. Ooh, y'all, my husband made coffee this morning, and I am a caffeine-free gal, but I drank some of his and it was full force, and oh, I got the shakes, man. But that's all right. I'm getting ready to go work out in my garage, and that caffeine will wear off very quick because we are cleaning out. That is a job I do not enjoy, but it's got to be done. So now I'm going to take some of my Tombow glue and just put it down on that little tab that glues our box together. Then I'm going to bring this back side over, and I'm going to line it up, that score line, and I did get a little glue out there, but it's okay because it's going to dry clear. Nobody will ever see it. Now, see? Then let's go ahead and put the bottom part of our box together. I'm going to tuck those in. Let me get my glue back out. I don't even know why I set it to the side. I knew I needed it. This is the back flap. I'm going to put some glue on that. Fold it over. Make sure that I get it good and straight. Then put some glue onto this one. Fold it down. Hold it for a minute. Then I set it down. Put my bone folder inside and just make sure that that glue is stuck to all pieces. So now let's put the DSP on the inside of this box. Just slide it down in there like that. Get it lined up where you want it. Bone folder. Uh-oh, I moved it. Sorry. Hang on a minute. Let's correct that. That is another good thing about this glue, though, is if you put something in place and you need to move it around because you didn't quite get it in the exact spot you wanted it to be, you do have a little wiggle room there. Okay, so that's in place. Alright, so I've already got one glued together, but I'm going to show you how I do this because this little framelit does have quite a few little intricate details in it. So I just come in with my glue, and let me get it closer to you so you can see, hopefully. I just put a little glue all over everything. Then flip it over, line everything up, and stick it down. Move it into the place where I want it. Did get a little glue there. It's okay, I just wipe it off. So there's that piece done. Now the way that I attach this to my box is with a dimensional. So I'm going to stick this to my box right here at the top. Peel off that paper. Then I bring in my ornament and I line it up on my box in such a way that the top edge here centers the ornament, if that makes sense. Because I want it sticking up past the edge of that box, almost to the top of the piece behind it. So there is your cracker cookie box finished. I do want to put some ribbon on there, but I don't know where I have put my ribbon for now. So anyway, all you have to do is just take a small piece of white ribbon and just loop it through this little, I don't know what you call that, but loop it through this hole in the top of your ornament and tie it into a bow. And I'm sorry guys, I have no clue where I have put my ribbon. There's a little piece, but it's going to be too small, but I will show you anyways how I loop it through here. I form a loop in my ribbon like this, and then I just stick that loop from the back through the front like this, and I looped that loop through from the back through the front. Then I took my loose ends and looped those from the back to the front of my ribbon. And then that is not enough to tie a bow with, but then you would just tie that into a bow. So that is how that is done. So let's see if there's anything else I need to tell you about that I forgot. I don't think so. So let's bring these other ones back in. Let's slide some crackers down in there. Here they are done. Very easy. Not a lot of supplies are needed. Quick to make. So if you were going to make a bunch of these, maybe in a more cutesy paper for your kids to take to school, literally, it would probably take you maybe 5 minutes to put one of these together. So if your child has 25, 28 kids in their class, you could make a bunch of these in just a little bit of time. So I hope y'all enjoyed the tutorial today, and I hope everything I said made sense. And y'all have a great week, and I will talk to you soon.